Welcome back to the Lone Ranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Yes, I am the Lone Ranger, and thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Excuse me. I have to tell you, what a relief to see that the government shutdown has come to an end. It's about doggone time. Now we just got to get all the air traffic controllers back to work and fix their equipment and give them raises and give them whatever back pay they should be due. Because one thing we don't want is to have any type of an issue with travel over the holidays. I mean, it's already going to be bad enough, even on the best possible days. But I have to tell you, I traveled last week on the first day that they mentioned the shutdown, and I was so afraid. I was out in Tucson, and I had to go from Tucson to Dallas to Orlando. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm never going to make it. I swear, I walked into the airport at Tucson. I went right through TSA. I walked directly onto the flight. The flight left on time. It arrived 13 minutes early into Dallas, went out of there, went to the bathroom, went to my new gate, walked right on the plane. It took off on time and it landed 23 minutes early. I'm like, this doesn't even happen in a normal week. So I don't know. Maybe things will get fixed and we'll be back in shape. However, this show is not about the government shutdown and it's not about air traffic control. It's about you and your money. So I will tell you this. The bond market wasn't crazy about the announcement of the shutdown ending. And I don't understand why. I mean, sometimes it's just really difficult to understand how to gauge this market. But ever since the Fed cut that happened on October 29th, interest rates got worse. Now, they're about 40 basis points worse on the bond. Okay. So let's just put it this way. The day before the Fed cut, the average 30-year fixed on a conventional loan was 6.2%, and now it's about 6.4%. Now, we've been telling all of you that all of our indicators are that by the end of this year or the first quarter of next year, we should have rates somewhere in the high to mid fives. Now, all of that's getting pulled out from under us. So all the indicators are now, and I was reading all these articles from all these, Jamie Dimon and all these people that run these big banks, and they are now saying that they think rates are going to stay between 6.2 and 6.4%. Now that's going to kill a lot of people that wanted to refi. They've been waiting on my VIP rate watch list. So here's the thing. If you are one of those people that would like to refinance, but you've been waiting for rates to drop into the fives, now VA, I can still get you there. FHA, I can get you there. Conventional, it'd be very difficult to get into the fives. But a lot of folks, and I had a few of you I talked to even last week, said, you know what? Saving $250 a month isn't really worth it for me. I'm going to wait and see if they drop into the fives or even fours. Well, let me tell you the mistake you would make, because if I'm saving you $250 a month and you've got, let's just say, I don't know, 29, 28 years left on your mortgage. So times 330, you just gave up $82,500. $82,500. So if you get greedy and you think they're going to get better and you're going to hold out and they don't, you cost yourself a lot of money. Now, here's the alternative. And I don't want anybody to refinance. Believe me, I don't want any of you to refinance if it's not the right thing to do. It's got to make sense. But we all tend to get a little greedy sometimes. And we've all been under the impression that interest rates are going to drop a little bit more. Well, if that doesn't happen and you were one of those people that sat on the sidelines, you would have missed out on that, on a huge amount of money over the span of your loan. Now, here's the thing. If you wait and they don't drop, it's going to cost you money. If you do it now And let's just say we save in $250, $200 a month. And you're like, I was hoping for 400. Well, it didn't make 400, but it said 200, 250. I'm going to suggest that you give that serious consideration, because if they don't drop anymore, you screwed yourself by a huge number. Now, if they end up dropping, then we can do it again. We can refinance it again. Keep in mind that I don't charge any lender fees when I refinance your loan. If I've done your mortgage, there's no lender fees. Okay. If you're not one of my customers, you call me up. I'll make sure that we beat anybody else's terms on your mortgage, including whoever is servicing your loan if it's not me. Now, we service, I think, 1 in 7 mortgages in the United States. We keep and service 90% of the loans that we originate. 90%. I don't know anybody that's doing that, but we do it at CrossCountry Mortgage. So if you've been holding off, waiting to refinance, I want you to pick up the phone and give me a call. You can call me now on my Tampa connection at 813-213-4009. That's 813-213-4009. Or Orlando, 407-706-3313. 407-706-3313. Now, we talked in the last 15-minute segment about Zillow being sued for illegal kickbacks and illegal and deception. So when a real estate company like Zillow is steering people to their mortgage company by virtue of saying to a real estate agent, you don't get any more leads unless you refer your clients to Zillow Mortgage. That's against the law. So, I work with a lot of different real estate agents all over the country, and I train them, and I've been in this a long time. So here's the thing. I love for my realtors to refer me, because they know when they do, they get the job done. But by no means can a real estate agent say, if you don't use Bruce Woodburn or anybody else, we won't do this. You can't do that. Now, builders can get away with it because they're truly a seller. They're not a real estate company. Now, I don't think they should be able to do it, but they do. So builders can say, look you can go to any mortgage company you want, but if you don't go to our mortgage company or one of our preferred mortgage companies, we won't pay any of your closing costs. They can do that. A seller cannot do that. A normal seller that's got their home listed in MLS cannot do that. It's against the law, and you can't steer. So just keep in mind that that's the case. Now, we also talked in the last 15 minutes about Trump wanting to introduce 50-year mortgages. Now, 50-year mortgages, the whole reason he wants to do that is to help affordability, because affordability is the number one issue with people right now. We're all struggling with it. Now, I did the math, and a 50-year mortgage will not be at the same interest rate as a 30-year mortgage. Any more than a 15-year mortgage is the same interest rate as a 30-year mortgage. So right now, 30-year mortgages, 6.3% on average. They've estimated that at that same interest rate, you would pay on a 50-year mortgage 6.8. Now, the reason for that is a lender's going to take 20 more years to get their money back. And God knows what the cost of a dollar is going to be in 20 more years, 50 years from now. That would be like going to 1975 and looking at what things cost. Now, if you could go back in time to 1975, I'll bet you'd buy every house you could get your hands on. And if you recall, we went through a recession in 1976 through 78, and interest rates were 13, 14% in some cases during that time frame. Now, would you be afraid of buying a house back then? Yes. Why are you afraid when interest rates are 6.5? People were afraid at 13.5. But if you would have bought then, you would be so rich, you couldn't spend all your money. If you were smart enough to get over the fear, you would make money. I'm telling you, it's the same thing right now. I'm telling you, It was the same thing in 2008 when we had the recession and the mortgage crash. Well, everybody was afraid. People were going bankrupt. People were getting foreclosed on. But if you bought property from 2008 to 2016, you would have made so much money on your investment. It'd be insane. Now, listen, I always confess the things that I screw up on. And that was one of my big mistakes, is I was in fear, just like you. And now I look back and I go, should have listened to Warren Buffett. Be greedy when others are fearful, but be fearful when others are greedy. And I should have been greedy because everyone was fearful. And it's the same for you. And it's the same today. Call me now, Orlando, 407-706-3313. Go to my website. Get your application started now. First-time home buyer, VA 0 money down, FHA 100% financing, FHA 3.5% down, 3% down first-time home buyer, down payment assistance, hometown heroes, home equity lines of credit, reverse mortgages. For all of you folks that don't want to make a payment anymore and you're over 62 years old, there may be an opportunity for you. I've got everything you need right here in-house. We don't broker it out. I'm not sharing your credit report with every doggone lender that I want to shop my loan with, because everything's done internally. Matter of fact, when you call me or you apply online, I'm going to start off with a soft credit pull anyway. We don't even do a hard credit pull till we're ready to go to underwriting. So listen, folks, there's no reason for you to sit on the sidelines. Tampa, 813-213-4009. 813-213-4009. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I'm the loan arranger. I'm the guy you need to go to for your next mortgage. And I tell you that because I will live up and exceed your expectations. If I don't, fire me on the spot. If I don't live up and if I make any promises that I don't deliver on, fire me on the spot and share all the bad news with all your friends. I'm going to tell you something. I got a 5-star rating because that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to say I haven't made mistakes. I'm not saying that I haven't done things wrong. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect person. I'm the furthest thing from perfect. But I will tell you this. Under no circumstances will my clients ever have any deceptive practices from my team or my company. I won't tolerate it. I'd rather you leave me because some other lender quoted you pie in the sky, and I'll back out of that deal gladly. But if you want somebody that's a direct lender, all 50 states, anywhere you want to buy in this country, I can help you. If you want somebody that's a direct lender, you want somebody that's got 35 plus years of experience, you want somebody that's the top producer in the country. I'm top 1%, folks. 1% of every mortgage company and every mortgage lender out there. And there's thousands of them. Most of them I wouldn't hire. I wouldn't let them valet park my car, let alone do my mortgage. And yet you guys get duped by them every day. Every day. They are slick talking people, man. Some of these big companies hire some really slick people that are fast talking salespeople. I mean, I've got a couple of clients, they were ready to pull the trigger on a refinance. And I looked at them, I'm like, stop everything. You're getting screwed. What do you mean I'm getting screwed? This guy promised me out. Listen, folks, it sounds too good to be true. You know what mama said. It is. So listen, I got to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. I got more things to talk about and how the government shutdown is going to impact your future. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Go to the bathroom, take a little break, and I'll be right back. 407-706-3313. That's 407-706-3313. Or Tampa Bay at 813-213-4009. For all my boners out there, that's 813-213-4009. Or go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Get your application made. So doggone simple. You can make application in 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes. You'll have everything done. I'll get you closed in 21 days. No problem. Let's get her done.